Morning, guys and gals, and welcome to the Friday, June 17th episode. Morning coffee and chat. What a week. What a week. We gonna get everything synced in here together. Hey, Rusty. Morning, bud. A little love for myself up there. Do a little something here. And we'll share out. Hopefully, Facebook. Yep, it's working this morning. Sure wasn't working the other day, that's for sure. Alright. Poster up there. Get rid of that. Here we are. It's Friday. It is Friday, that's for sure. I am feeling the effects from the whole week, man, good and bad. Almost took myself out yesterday outside mowing. It rained yesterday morning, so I had to wait till later in the day for the grass to dry out a little bit. And I've still got about 30 minutes worth of weed eating to do out there under the trampoline and on the hill in the front. Man, I'll tell you what, by the time I got back in the house last night, sat down in a cool tub to cool myself off, got up, got dressed, my legs didn't want to work. My legs didn't want to work. Tuesday. Good morning, Jan. Good to see you, sweetie. Tuesday. And this breaks my heart. Tuesday we found out that the storms that rolled through Monday night hit the Van Buren County Poorhouse Museum and took the roof completely off the place. A lot of the artifacts from the top floor are strewn all over the property. They can't cover it back up or nothing until the insurance adjuster gets there. They can't move any of the artifacts. They can't do anything until the insurance adjuster comes out and decides if it's worth replacing the roof or they just bulldoze the place. So we don't know what's going to happen with Ghostorama. Dan is looking for alternative sites for it now. We don't know. Even if they do get the roof repaired, policy is going to be that they don't do anything with the property. They don't do anything with the property until next year. So yeah, we very possibly may have been the last to investigate. So it's just really sad that there's over 100 years worth of county history in that place, and most of what was on the top floor, what was not too heavy for the wind to carry off, is just strewn all over the property, and they can't touch anything till the insurance adjuster comes out. They can't even cover. They can't even cover the top floor to protect what's on the first, second, third, and fourth floors. So if we get any more rain, which by the grace of God we haven't, if we get any more rain, it just pours down the staircases and just continuously damages the inside. And the structural integrity and the other artifacts that are there. Good morning, Sonny. Good morning, Buck. Good to see you. So yeah, it's been a week. Not to mention, got an itch. Not to mention, having the wife's nephew here from up north. She brought back this past weekend when she was up there. I've got so used to having a teenage girl here in the house that having a 13-year-old boy in the house is weird to me again. FedEx won't do anything to help Jay. Jay needs to retire. Because I have heard of more than one case with UPS that when a driver gets attacked by a dog like that, they go to the fullest extent of that's humanly possible to get that dog destroyed. Especially if the driver was not at fault. If he was going up there making a simple delivery and the dog, especially the stupidity of the owners putting the doggy door at the front door instead of putting it in the backyard that's fenced in. And you've got a dangerous territorial dog that, what if that was a child? What if the kids across the street were playing with a ball and it bounced across the street and went up their drive? Or went in their front yard and that dog saw them running up in the yard to get it? I swear to God, stupidity of the stupidity of some people makes me thankful that I at least have the IQ of a rock, which a lot of them obviously don't. Yeah, I'm beginning to wonder if maybe you shouldn't put the. I'm beginning to wonder if you shouldn't put the owners to sleep and then try to get the dog reconditioned. The dog warden put on a report that he was bitten on the hand. I emailed and called about it. Haven't heard anything. Bitten on the hand. Yeah, Sonny, I tend to agree with you. It sounds to me like their township, their county, their city doesn't want a bunch of red tape and stuff, so I'd start throwing the red tape at them by the roll. Be damned if my spouse is going to get attacked by a territorial dog doing their job and nothing be done about it. Yep, the hospital records. And see, I don't know about that, Jan. I really honestly don't, because if they're falsifying records for whatever reason, maybe, you've got the hospital records and stuff like that to prove otherwise. So a settlement like this, now, I mean, I don't know about Ohio. I don't know about Ohio, but I know in Indiana, I know at least, oh God, what, 16 years ago, 15 years ago, I had a friend whose son, Pan, got attacked by a neighbor's dog. And let's just say by the end of the court battle, they have no more worries. As a matter of fact, um, the dad went out and bought a brand new Harley, one of the anniversary editions, and it didn't even put a dinkle in their settlement. They bought a house, he bought a brand new truck, bought a trailer to haul his bike on. I don't even think he works anymore. I think the settlement was over $500,000. Jay is being nonchalant about it. It's because Jay's a dude. I mean, think about it. He got that job knowing the dangers involved with that job, and still went to work every day and came home every day. And of course he's going to be nonchalant about it, same as I was nonchalant about, you know, doggy bite right there. The wife's like, have that dog destroyed, that could have been your daughter. And I'm like, no, they said they were going to send the dog to obedience school, get him trained, everything, give him the benefit of the doubt. And they made the dog disappear for a while. And then I found out the dog was in the back, and he had a whole big yard to run in and stuff like that. So he didn't go to the hospital. He went to the doctor. Where we get his amount to on the expenses. $40,000 change. Hey Richie, good to see you. Hope you're doing well over on the west side of the water. I actually shut off the air conditioning a little bit ago, about 20 to 7, something like that, because it was only 60, 65 degrees outside. I went outside and sat this morning, waited on the wife to leave and everything, and it felt so good out there. And I shut off the air, opened the doors and windows up and everything, and within probably a half hour, the temperature in the house went up about 5 degrees, even though it was 8 degrees cooler outside than we had the house set. So I shut everything back down, turned the air back on. It's only 68 degrees here right now. Yeah, we're only supposed to get up to 77 today, and that's what it was here in the house when I shut the air off and was relying on the outside. But we live in a modular home, so it's basically a 70-foot long microwave. It takes the heat from the sun and amplifies it inside. So yeah, when you get up 62, 63 degrees, you might as well turn the air on, because it's going to just heat up like crazy. Good morning, Tony. Good to see you. I'm doing good. Sunburn. I got a little bit of sun yesterday myself outside mowing. Like I said at the beginning, I told the wife I was going to mow early yesterday, and it turned around and rained yesterday morning. She ran into rain at 6:35 going to work, so I had to wait till it dried out a little bit. And by that time, it was already. By the time the sun came up and the grass didn't have any wetness left in it anymore, it was 80, 84 degrees. By the time I got the yard done, it was 89, with very little shade. So I got a little baked. Not too awful bad though. In the People's Republic of New Jersey, injury lawsuits are settled on a flow chart type of deal. My back was only this or that, not some outrageous dollar amount despite that. Can't work too bad. It was too hot the past 2 days, makes me feel ill. The heat Federer Macy gave up the ghost Monday night. Oh, Lord. Wow. That's terrible. I don't know where we'd be without this one. Yeah, I do. We'd all be a lot thinner and the carpet would be a lot wetter. Good morning, KG. Good to see you. Well, guys, tomorrow night's the big night. The Winchester House in Elkhart, Indiana. This place used to be a doctor's office / residence. There was multiple doctor's offices and stuff in there. The Winchesters that built the place back in 1905, they had a daughter who married a gentleman named William, I believe his name was Knickerbocker. And when he died, she pretty much lost her cookies. She loved the casket that she bought for him so much, she bought one for herself and had it placed right in the entryway, right in the foyer of her of the home, and supposedly still haunts it today. My girl JC's just fine. Stayed 73 all these hot ass days. Too hot to worry about what to eat. Yeah, I made chicken strips, homemade chicken strips last night, and I made a lot of chicken strips because we eat a lot of chicken strips. So tonight it's going to be chicken wraps. Our TV died Monday, won't get new until next Friday. Good thing I have YouTube. Some states, workers' comp case for disability is at least enough to live on for your life. Yeah. Amen to that. They won't make a workman's comp claim. They have to make a workman's comp claim. That's the law. See, you could have their ass too, and that's where your money comes in at. He was injured on the job. By federal law, they have to make a workman's comp claim. That's why they carry workman's comp insurance. That's where your money comes in. Suing FedEx for refusing to file a workman's comp claim for an on-the-job injury. "32 years ago when I hurt, or 35 years ago when I hurt my back on the job, my company, which at that time, you and a lot of you guys probably don't remember it or you didn't have them in your location, I worked at a place called Hill's Department Store. And the manager wanted me to stack these brand new grills in a display in a pyramid in one of the big aisleways, and was going to have this other young kid help me, but the other manager come and sent him home because they were overstaffed. So I had to stack them myself, and they weighed like 150 pounds, and I was picking this stuff up above my head to stack them. And at that point in time, Indiana was registered as the 47th worst workman's comp state out of the 50 states. And I still got $10,000 for that. But that was 35 years ago. So The judge that heard the judge that heard the case told them, you have to file a case. He got hurt on the job. You have to carry workman's comp insurance. You have to file a case. So they wound up having to pay me 10 grand just because of not wanting to file a case because they didn't want to deal with the paperwork. So also third party suing the homeowner insurance too. Wait, what? Be outside. Yes, it's the law. Also, it's third party suing the homeowner insurance too. Homeowner's insurance will provide coverage for animal bites. Yes, I remember that place. Case has been settled, and the insurance company is responsible for my back and hips. Sexy Wookie. Man, those are two words I never thought I would see in the same sentence. That's just, wow. There's just two words I never thought I would ever see in the same sentence. Sexy Wookie. Hills was awesome store back in the day. Yeah, they were. Back before the days of superstores. I doubt this guy has homeowners insurance. I currently have three working riding mowers. Wow. 3 working riding mowers. And you know, it's really funny too, because when I was out there mowing yesterday, I was thinking, man, you know, I wish I had a riding mower right now. But my legs are hurting. I had to keep stopping, going up, sitting under the umbrella on the porch because my legs were starting to get all wobbly and weak and everything. It's like my ass don't get wobbly sitting on a riding mower. Put my little headphones on, plug them into my phone, just ride along. Okay, wait, what happened? Get up here. The punk kid and his boyfriend. What in the world is happening with YouTube? I'm sitting here trying to read this thing, and the little blue circle with the arrow keeps popping up at the bottom, and the chat starts doing this. Broke in a house we were renting back in '97, stole several $1,000s in jewelry from us. Homeowners went sky high because blues that we took all 3 to mow fucking yard. This is just the beginning of your week, so you're my age. If I'm lucky, I ain't gonna live those extra couple years till I'm your age. You're just a couple years older than me, girl. I keep telling myself if I actually slept, I'd probably feel better. 61, I mean, you know, I'll be 54 in October. So you got me by what, 6.5 years, something like that. It's kind of why Big Cub has a flat tire, but it's parked right next to the air compressor. Well, that makes it easier. You know, and I guess it really honestly wasn't even my legs. It was just the calf muscle on my left leg. You know, I'm still nursing the clot. They want me to work or walk as much as possible. So that's what I'm doing. I'm getting out walking as much as I possibly can till I start to get wobbly and look like I've got cerebral palsy or something like that, and then I go and sit down and until I'm not wobbly no more. I feel like a kid at 60. Because you got to break it up. Look, you have to dissolve the clot. I mean, this clot literally goes from the top of my left foot all the way up to my groin. So I mean, they would have to take there would be a lot of fishing if they could even do it. But you have to dissolve those things, and it takes time. They said it could take up to a year or longer for that clot to completely dissolve. So it'd probably help if I could afford decent shoes, but I can't. So you do what you can do. There was one place in the area that covered special medical shoes, and they closed down 3 years ago. That's where I got my diabetic shoes back in 2016, and they closed down, and there's no place else around. I think the nearest place is a 2.5 hour drive. Um, I think it's up in Detroit, as a matter of fact. So to go up there and get shoes, I like saying that, but I feel a lot older. Look, my dad's age. Whoop out the shop vac. Dude, I wish it was that easy. I wish I had a shop vac. Good morning, Blaine. Good to see you, bud. Hope you're doing well. I wear a 10. I'm just getting off prednisone. Got 3 days left. Antibiotics. Diabetic shoes. They're a special. Um, they're a specially designed shoe, and they've got when it comes to the insoles of the shoe, they actually have you put your foot in a almost like a clay, and it takes an impression of the whole bottom of your foot, and then they go and they make specialty insoles, diabetic insoles for your feet, and it's supposed to help, relieve all that pressure people feel on their arches, blisters, things like that can cost you your leg. B&A Bootery in Kalamazoo. Never even heard of them, but the question is, do they carry or do they accept the insurance? These things were like $100 some odd when I went to get them back in 2016. Thank you, Sonny. Yeah, Sonny knows because she's diabetic too. So yeah, neuropathy, definitely. That was one of my deals the other night why I couldn't get to sleep till after midnight. It felt like I had 10 million little prickly ants walking all over my legs from the knees down. Just tingly, painful. Couldn't keep my legs in one place for more than just they are the local maker of diabetic shoes. I have to check into that because I've never even heard of them. When I went to get my others, like I said, back in 2016, my doctor said the only place around that took my insurance was the one in Niles. So I'll have to check. Um, I'll have to check on that place. I've never heard of it before. I have a brand new pair of diabetic boots. They don't fit. I'll send them to you if you can wear them. But said your size is 10. I'm an 11 to 11 and a half. Yeah, that might be. I might have to stick some newspapers in the toes of those to make them fit. Because I'm a small 10. I can actually wear a 9.5 to 210. So most of my tennis shoes and stuff are range right about 9.5. My boots range about a 10. Damn, I got I'm diabetic too, but never heard of such. Yeah, I don't have them in here. I would show you the insoles are so much nicer, and they're a very, very awesome foam that they put into that mold of your foot, and it comes up around the edges of your foot. It fits the arch and the ball of your foot right behind your big toe and everything, just perfect. Comes back around the heel, so there's no slipping and sliding in there. Drew has the progressive diabetic state. Yeah. I'll call, Google them and call Drew. I will. I definitely will. We wear the same size shoes. Very comfy. There you go. There you go. Just get a can of spray foam, spray it inside your shoes, stick your foot in there, let it harden up, form to your foot, dry completely, pull it out, boom, you got perfect insulation. That's what I need to do with my Calvary boots. Instead of keep switching my insoles back and forth based on what I'm wearing. Because they only give you 2 pair on an order, and so when I got my diabetic shoes, I got 2 pair of diabetic insoles, and you're only supposed to wear them for 6 months, and then move on to the next pair. That's why they call you back in every year to get new insoles and new shoes. And like I said, the place closed down. Place closed down in late 2016, and I never got a call back. So I keep switching back and forth between my first pair of insoles and my second pair of insoles. Then I went out and got some Dr. Scholl's and slipped them under my insoles, so that just gave me a little bit of extra padding. Walk around like you have clown feet. Yeah, see, when I was younger, I had I wore a wide shoe, but you know, wide for a child is so much different than wide for an adult, and it's like when I try to wear a wide shoe now, I feel like I could just sit there and move my foot like this inside the shoe. Foot mapping kiosks. You know, I've been hearing about those for years, but I've never seen one. Never seen one. $7.5 double E. It's like my first girlfriend's training bra. So Blaine, How are you feeling? Enough about my feet. How are you feeling? Hopefully, you are recovering well and moving around and stuff much better than what you were the other day. Yeah, you better be very, very careful of that, Wook. Whenever I do anything, uh, I've got, especially like when I'm wearing my cavalry boots or something, I have always got on like knee above knee high socks, like kilt socks or something, um, so I don't get sores on my legs. Because being diabetic, sores on your legs and stuff don't heal. They'll keep coming back, and it can lead to some very, very nasty situations. Situations that I don't want to think about because I enjoy my mobility. My sugar is currently 88 as opposed to 456 a week ago. Mine still stays um, anywhere between 275 and 325, regardless of what I eat, what I don't eat. It is right there. All right, let's see here. Rusty's throwing out that history already. I know we got a very important piece of Liberty history for today. So, Francis Drake lands in California. English navigator Francis Drake lands on the coast of California at Drake's Bay, names it New Albion. 1700, Massachusetts orders priest to leave the colony. 1745, American colonists capture Louisbourg, Cape Breton Island from the French. 1775, Battle of Bunker Hill. Actually, it was Breed's Hill. Yep, most definitely. Yeah, yep, because I brought up the compression sock thing to the doctor, and that was a big, healthy. Hello, Ian. Good to see you, bud. 1788, after a lengthy stay in Europe, future U.S. President John Adams and his wife Abigail Adams returned to Boston. Boston. They came back to Boston. I wish I had a shot vac, dude. I wish I had a shot vac. I would try to get the blood clot out with that. Hey, James. Good to see you, bud. Thank you very much for the thumbs up. 1824, U.S. Bureau of Indian Affairs established. Native Americans have been screwed ever since. 1837, Charles Goodyear obtains his first rubber patent, and later teamed up with the Trojan Man. 1850, paddle wheeler. G.P. Griffith burns off Mentor, Ohio. 206 feet. 1856, Republican Party opens its first national convention in Philadelphia. Good morning, Paul. Good to see you. Driving into work, so can't chat. Understandable. Don't want you. Don't want you steering with your elbow while you're sitting there. 1861 Battle of Boonville. Brigadier General Lyons defeats Confederate forces. 1863 Battle of Middleburg, Virginia. Yeah, guys, don't forget to stick that little thumbs up down there. YouTube seems to love those things for some reason. (1863) The Battle of Aldie. Confederates failed to drive back Union in Virginia. 1863 Naval engagement at Warsaw Sound. GA USS Weehawken versus the Confederate naval vessel Atlanta. Warsaw Sound, Georgia. Another short night last night. Got in bed at midnight, was back up at 25 till 3 this morning. 1863, Travelers Insurance Company of Hartford chartled. It was chartled. 1863, Travelers Insurance Company of Hartford chartered. 1864, Confederate troops pull back out Saul's lost Mount. 1864, 640-meter-long pontoon bridge over James River, Virginia, finished. When I came outside this morning, the whole area was covered in a weird orange glow. Huh. I'll be damned. 1864, Confederate General John B. Hood replaces General Johnston as head of the Army of Tennessee. Yeah, I've never heard of that, Tony. A weird orange glow. Now, the other night when the storms rolled through here, the sky turned green and then turned a very bright orange. I'd never seen a color like that before. I've seen a rusty color, but I have never seen a bright orange sky like that. 1864 skirmish at Mud Creek, Noyers Creek, Georgia. Neighbor's house was on fire. 1876 Battle of Rosebud, battle where girl saved her brother. 1877 Indian Wars, Battle of Whitebird Canyon, and Nez Perce defeated the U.S. cavalry at Whitebird Canyon in Idaho Territory. I got to check out the mail here real quick because something else popped up that we should have already hit. Okay, we'll see. There we go. Yep, Rusty just hit on it. Statue of Liberty, 1885, arrives in New York City aboard the French ship Acier. 1894, first U.S. Poliomyelitis epidemic breaks out in Rutland. Poliomyelitis. Polio in Rutland, Vermont. Whatever. Local weatherman mentioned it on the news this morning. So I ain't seeing things. Huh. Very cool. Well, at least you know you're not losing your mind or your eyesight. I mean, that's always a positive. 1895, U.S. ship Canal in the Bronx completed, cutting Marble Hill from Manhattan. 1897, William Frank Powell, New Jersey educator, named minister to Haiti. You know, it's funny. I turned off the air, opened the windows and stuff up. I've had everything closed back up twice as long as I had it open. And it don't feel like it's any cooler in this place. I'm just glad it's going to be cooler for the next few days. We got that Winchester House investigation tomorrow night. Heather's back. Plus we have my birthday buddy Jocelyn and her mom celebrating her birthday, coming out with us tomorrow night to do the investigation. It's going to be fun. (1898) United States Navy Hospital Corps is established. 1901, the College Board introduces its first standardized test, the forerunner to the SAT. 1902, U.S. Congress passed the New Lands Reclamation Act, which establishes a fund from sale of public lands to build irrigation dams for arid western lands. Yeah, believe me, I know. We've thought a lot about that this year with heat going up, going down, cold fronts. It's been like that all summer. And we were blaming the old, out-of-date air conditioner for not cooling the house right. This brand new 2022 model is doing the same thing. But yeah, like I said, my birthday buddy Jocelyn, she was one of the saloon girls down at Napanee. We share the same birthday. So her and her mom, Evangeline, are going to come out this weekend. It's her mom's birthday. She's always wanted to go on a ghost hunt. So I am bringing them in. They're going to be working with me. And we'll just we'll see how that goes. Oh, believe me, I've checked the filters. I'm the one that replaces the filters. So the filters are still good. 1915, the League to Enforce Peace is organized at Independence Hall in Philadelphia with William Howard Taft as president. Its program anticipates the League of Nations. 1916, U.S. troops under General Pershing march into Mexico. Yeah, our hot days, some of them are even warmer than where Grandma's sister lives at, um, south of where does she live? South of, I think she lives south of Los Angeles just a little bit, or on the southern part of Los Angeles. 1919 Barney Google cartoon strip by Billy D. Beck premieres. Barney Google. Never heard of it. I remember Cooper, Fran, and Ollie. Never heard of Barney Google. Yeah, we've not hit 100 ambient temperature yet. We've hit 100 degrees heat index a couple times, but we've not hit 100 ambient yet. (1928) Amelia Earhart leaves Newfoundland to become first woman to fly Atlantic. Passenger on a plane piloted by Wilmer Stoltz. Good morning, Sarah. Good to see you, love. Hope you're doing well. (1932) Bonus Army. Around 1,000 World War I veterans amass at the United States Capitol as the U.S. Senate considers a bill that would give them certain benefits. Oh yeah, we've not gone close to 110 yet. 112 Monday, 113 Tuesday. 1933 Kansas City massacre. 1 FBI agent, 4 cops, and 1 gangster killed by the mob. Miss Cruz. Look at you being all gentlemanly and stuff like that, Tony. Miss Cruz. That's what the kids call her at school, you know. 1946, S.W. Bell inaugurates mobile telephone commercial service in St. Louis. Good thing my girls have a pool in their enclosure. It gets much hotter, you and Jay are going to be out there sitting in it too. Yeah, it's getting real muggy real fast, but I think we're finally going to start a little bit of our cooler days today. Anyway, that's the rumor. That single 5,000 BTU window unit would not do much. 1947, Pan Am Airways' first round-the-world civil air service leaves New York City. I can do the gentleman thing if I choose to. 1950, first kidney transplant in Chicago. 1951, Flahooley closes at Broadhurst Theater, New York City after 40 performances. My kids are in their kiddie pool already. It's not even 9 a.m. The weekend, but it goes right back up. I don't want to complain though. Could be snow. Yeah. Could also be 60 degrees or 65 degrees with a light breeze and just be perfect. Which is what I'm voting for forever. 12 months out of the year, 365 days, 24 hours a day. In between 60 and 65 with a slight breeze. Uh, 1953 U.S. Supreme Court Justice William O. Douglas stays executions of spies Julius and Ethel Rosenberg scheduled for the next day, their 14th anniversary. Oh, I have been out of the Shedio for almost a year. My mother-in-law moved out, got her own place. I took over her bedroom, and I actually have an indoor studio now. The Shedio is a shed. It is where all of the really cool shit that we don't use often goes. But I am in the house now. No more sweating my butt off or freezing it off, depending upon the weather. (1954) televised Senate Amy McCarthy hearings ends. Forget about 2 of those perfect days a year. Yeah, tell me about it. 1957, So Rare by Jimmy Dorsey. Orchestra peaks at number 2. We didn't lose power in the storms. See, we didn't even have storms last night. Everything, we haven't had any rain at all since Monday. Well, I take that back. We had the little driplets yesterday morning, just enough to make me have to wait till the hottest part of the day to mow yesterday. But nothing like Monday night. 1957, Tuskegee boycott begins. Blacks boycotted city stores. That's a very good question, sir. That's a very good question. I've not talked to JC well, I haven't talked to either one of them in God since forever. JC got pissed off one day and never came back, never got another email from her, never heard anything else from her, and the other feller just disappeared one day. Storms here were about 5 miles south. Oh, Tyler's still around. He's matter of fact, his best friend, his female friend, his best friend for years, just sent me a friend request the other day so her and I could start working out when they are going to make a trip back up here to Michigan to visit. I just talked to him yesterday. They took off on Tuesday and went down to Missouri to visit the Jesse James Museum and the Jesse James birthplace, and a reenacting store. Um, and I think they're going to go back first of the week again, so he can film some down there. But they are planning a trip, another trip, they are planning his second trip to Michigan, so they can hang out for a week or two up here. We can do some filming together, maybe do some reenacting, and hang out, since it's been over a year since I've seen him. No, I stream. I don't stream on Wednesdays every week anymore. I don't stream Wednesday mornings at all. Wednesday evenings, I only stream on the first Wednesday of the month. The rest of the time, the other 3 weeks, on Wednesday nights, I co-host Unrestricted Paranormal with Danny Holroyd. He's part of my paranormal group, Midwest Parahistoric Society. He's also a professional Ghostbuster. He heads up the Great Lakes Ghostbuster Coalition and the Kalamazoo Ghostbusters. And he has his own paranormal group called Southern Michigan Paranormals. But he does multiple podcasts, and I co-host with him the second, third, and fourth Wednesdays of the month. Mondays, as long as I'm up to it, I still live stream morning and evening, and Fridays, unless I'm gone or leaving for an event, I still do mornings and evenings. In my opinion, it was the beginning of the decline of everything in the country. Satan won a major battle. 1963 Supreme Court rules against Bible reading, prayer in public schools. Amen. 1965, 11.8 inches of rainfall, Hawley, Colorado. Yeah, but I might have a better schedule with my live streams than a doctor, but that still don't stop me from being in here 50 or 60 hours a week. 'Cause I still got to do my research, I still got to make my videos, I still got to edit my videos. I mean, granted, now that Grandma's getting a little older, I try to spend more time out in the kitchen with her, just killing time. But all my equipment's in here. So when it comes to working on my videos and stuff, I still got to be closed up in the studio to do it. 1965, British rock band The Kinks arrive in New York City, beginning their first U.S. tour. 1967, Somebody to Love by Jefferson Airplane peaks at number 5. 1967, Barbra Streisand, a Happening in Central Park concert performance for audiences of 135,000. It's good that it wasn't subscribed. I don't know how that happened. I was wondering why I wasn't getting alerts. Because this is not the old channel. I lost the old channel the end of November last year because some asshat decided they didn't like our stream of success. So I had to start a brand new channel the 1st of December, and that's this one. That's why we no longer have 4,000 plus subscribers. We have less than 500. That's why, because when I started a new channel, I tried to get a hold of everybody that I could find a listing for that had a YouTube channel, um, to let them know we were starting over. 1968, KQEC TV Channel 32 in San Francisco, California begins broadcasting. 1968, Ohio Express, yummy, 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 goes gold. I don't know what that is, but it's yummy, 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 so apparently it's good. Wife and daughter are doing wonderful. Daughter's growing like a weed, but I'm sure you know all about daughters growing like weeds. So she's taller than her mom, almost as tall as me, and she'll be 14 2 days after I turn 54. So yeah. Right. Oh, Calcutta, the bare facts. 1969 opens in New York City, almost entirely in the nude. Moved. 1971, Carole King's album Tapestry goes to #1 on U.S. album charts and stays there for 15 weeks. 1972, 5 men arrested after trying to bug Democratic National Committee office in Watergate Complex, Washington. Ours got removed because I went on to Google and I pulled 3 photos off to use in a video, and the other asshats came in, or I should say asshat, because all 3 complaints on the photos had the same email address, which didn't go anywhere. So they removed me for copyright claims on photographs that were over 150 years old that you can't own because, well, they're public photos. But because YouTube is ran by a computer now and no longer has people manning the phone service, because Google figured out they could save hundreds of thousands of dollars a year not having 20 people manning the phones and letting the computer do everything. You can file a complaint, but disputing a complaint is almost impossible because there's no one to dispute it to. So that is why we lost the channel. In 1972, 9 firefighters are killed in the Hotel Vendome fire in Boston. Well, that kind of burnt a little bit. That's what I get for not paying attention. We are extremely offensive. First Amendment thing, yeah, exactly. 1978, Cheeseburger in Paradise by Jimmy Buffett peaks at 32. 1979, Sarava closes at Mark Hellinger Theater, New York City after 140 performances. I have to go. Got an appointment this morning. Catch you all later. All right, Sonny. Stay cool. Get as much cool air and water in you as you can. And we'll catch you later. What kind of person goes through someone's photos just to file a complaint? An asshat. 1990. Or 1980, Columbia Records releases Bruce Springsteen's fifth studio album, A River. The two-record set becomes a global smash, going top 5 in 8 countries. 1982, U.S. President Reagan's first UN General Assembly address, "We must serve mankind through genuine disarmament." Good morning, Templar. Good to see you, bud. Hope you're doing good this morning. Completely intentional. We are a pro-2A show. We try and do the whole Bill of Rights that we can cover. And you know, it's really sad that people consider your show offensive. You know, with what's happened in this country just in 2022. I mean, do you guys realize we are in the 6th month of the year? We are in the middle of the 6th month of the year. And this country has already had over 250 shootings, mass shootings. But it's always been handicaps that have gone out there, people with mental issues, people who have illegally obtained guns, people who live in states that don't follow the registration and background checks and stuff like that, that have gone out and done these shootings, but people still find it offensive when legitimate individuals who are responsible, who are out there to protect themselves, their families, and their towns, want to sit and talk about that kind of stuff. Uh, 1983, Ed Warren and Lorraine Warren exorcise a werewolf demon from Bill Ramsey, although lack of photo or video evidence has called this claim into question. 1985, 18th NASA Space Shuttle mission 51G Discovery 5 launches. Yeah. Yep, you almost have to be completely on the other side to have any kind of freedom of speech. 1986, U.S. Chief Justice Warren Earl Burger resigns, and Antonin Scalia nominated as his replacement. Yeah, yeah. Disingenuous, good choice of words. I don't agree with the 250 plus because a mass shooting is categorized as 5 or more people are injured. And this year, for some reason, because of gun legislation going into question and stuff like that, they're counting any kind of public shooting as a mass shooting. It don't matter if no one's hurt. It don't matter if one person is injured or one person dies. They're calling it a mass shooting this year. It's supposed to be 5 or more people injured or killed is the categorization of a mass shooting. 1988, Microsoft releases MS-DOS 4.0. Hey, Derek, good morning, bud. Good to see you. Glad you could join us. 1988, women sentenced to 90 years in first product tampering murder case. Mass shooting this morning, 3 people shot. It started at 6, then it was 4, now it's 3. Go figure. 1990, some Americans aboard closes at Vivian Beaumont, New York City after 62 performances. 1990, Zoya's apartment closes at Circle in Square Theater, New York City after 45 performances. Welcome anyone to check out the show, but be forewarned, it is bad, and if I don't offend you, then I failed at my intent. 1991, country entertainer Minnie Pearl suffers a stroke at 78. Oh, Minnie. Always wore that straw hat with the price tag hanging off of it. 1991, body of the 12th U.S. President Zachary Taylor is exhumed to test how he died. Rumors had persisted since his death in 1850 of arsenic poisoning. No evidence of this was found. Oh, I did too, Sarah. I grew up with Hee Haw. To show my family always sat down together and watched. 1992, Connecticut Governor Lowell Waker and WFAN DJ Don Imus changed places for one day. Howdy. But, you know, getting back to what I was talking about at the top of the show, since there's so many more of you in here now, the museum that we done our investigation at a couple months ago, the Van Buren County Museum, was hit Monday in the storms. The entire roof was tore off the building. A lot of the artifacts from the 5th floor are strewn all over the property. Being a non-for-profit, there's several rules they have to follow, one of which is they can't touch anything. They can't cover the roofless building. They can't pick up anything out of the yard until the insurance adjuster gets out there. Which means any more rain they get could damage even more of the artifacts in the building on the other 4 floors. The insurance adjuster is supposed to come out, if they've not already been out there, and they're trying to decide if it's worth putting a new roof on the place or just calling it a total loss and bulldozing the Van Buren County Museum. So that was the site of Ghostorama this year in August on the 20th. Danny is looking for a new location for Ghostorama, and Danny don't fail. So one way or another there will be a Ghostorama August 20th this year, but it will not be at the Van Buren County Museum. So, because even if they do fix the roof, according to their policy, nothing can be done with the building for 1 year. So, Ghostorama will go on August 20th. We're just not sure where yet. I didn't find anything in the news about another shooting. This next one is probably something I wouldn't even care about today. 1994, O.J. Simpson doesn't turn himself in on murder charges. LA police chase his Ford Bronco for 1.5 hours before he eventually gives up. Yes, it was seen live on national TV. I remember that. Him and old Kato Caitlin. 1995, Who's Tommy closes at St. James Theater, New York City after 899 performances. 1996, Howard Stern radio show premieres in Syracuse, New York on WAQX 95.7 FM. 1996, 15th Amendment to the Irish Constitution, which removes the prohibition of divorce, prohibition of divorce, is signed into law following a vote the previous year. 2006, sci-fi author Anne McCaffrey inducted into the Science Fiction Hall of Fame. 2008, first day of legal same-sex marriage in California. 2015, 9 people are shot and killed inside Emmanuel AME Church in Charleston, South Carolina by a 21-year-old gunman. Churches. 2015, U.S. Treasury announced that the image of Alexander Hamilton will be replaced from the U.S. $10 bill by an image of a woman. Still ain't seen it, but you know, they announced it. Still ain't happened, but they announced it. 2017, Bill Cosby trial for aggravated indecent assault declared a mistrial after jurors couldn't reach a verdict. Aggravated indecent assault. Yeah, I know. You guys were all expecting some kind of a Jello pudding crack there or something, but I wasn't going to give it to you. Churches and schools and the occasional shopping spot, almost always a soft target. 2019, Mayor of Phoenix, Arizona, Kate Gallego, apologizes for local police threatening to shoot African-American family after their 4-year-old shoplifted a doll. That's always worth shooting at a family for. 2020, former police officer who shot Rashard Brooks in Atlanta charged with his murder and aggravated assault. 2020, first major breakthrough in treating COVID-19 using steroid dexamethasone, announced by Oxford University. 2020, actor Danny Masterson charged with raping 3 women. (2021) U.S. President Smiling Joe Biden signs into law the Juneteenth National Independence Day Act, making June 19th a federal holiday commemorating emancipation. All right, well, we'll give him credit for that one. Way to go, Joe. That deserved its own holiday. Proof enough that Biden is an asshat. Don't even know the correct date. I rest my case. And that's all, folks. Thank you, Rusty, for another good day in history. And what a way to end it with Smiling Joe. Yep. Betty's regretting selling off all that oil and stuff right now. Well, he's not regretting it because he don't pay for his own gas. You know, it's really funny though. Everybody talks about the recession and why things cost so much. Do you know last year alone we printed over 80% of our money in circulation right now, today, for this country? They printed so much money last year that this year they slipped us into a recession. How's that for a course of stupidity? He was bound and determined that everybody would have electric cars by the end of his 4-year term, and we would do away with the use of fossil fuel for automobiles. So he started selling off all the oil, and then we had to start getting oil from other countries when he realized that the common person can't afford to just go out and buy a car that costs between $30,000 and $70,000. So he started going off and buying oil from other places, and it caused everything to skyrocket. But like Tony just said, he don't care what his fuel costs us because we buy his gas. Oh, I know. There's far more to it. I just don't want to get into it. I believe everyone should be free and treated like a human being, but just like I think Lincoln did, I think Biden did it for political reasons. I give you that. Well, my only question, and I'll never understand this as long as I live, why did he make June 19th a national holiday for emancipation when he should have made January 1st a national holiday for emancipation? Do you know that Lincoln quote as saying, if he could end the war without ending slavery? Oh, yes. Yes, there was a letter that was sent before before the first shots of the war were actually fired, said, "We don't care about your slaves. We have our own slaves. Just lay down your arms. You need our industry. We need your raw material. Let us continue to work together." So, yeah, if he could end the war without ending slavery, he would. I don't think Biden is smart enough to think of these things on his own. He wasn't a free thing as given credit for thinking. Yeah, well, Yeah, you're right. It's already a holiday. So, Sasquatch, what's up, bud? Good to see you. Oh, there was like 3 or 4 right there. That was almost rubbery. Nothing that way. We all need to go back to work. Love and light. Oh. All right, Templar. You have yourself a good day, bud. Don't work too awful hard. Definitely stay cool. And we'll catch you later. All right, Tony. Go do that show prep, bud. We will catch you later. Well, I hope you guys all enjoyed the videos from the Days of Blue and Gray, uh, last week's little adventure for Mark and I down in Napanee, Indiana. I hope my soapbox bitch session that I put out on Wednesday didn't catch anybody off guard. It's a big issue right now in the paranormal field with people sitting and slamming each other and things like that. So I took advantage of the situation and I put out my own video about it. I'm hoping that it didn't catch anybody off guard, seeing me actually start to go, ape poop crazy. So I I I try to never let anybody see me lose my cool because it's not pretty. I make some pretty ugly faces when I lose my cool, and yeah. Thanks, Jan. I appreciate that, sweetie. There's Danny right there. Look at him popping in there with a little thumbs up. All right, well, done with today in history. I've made all the announcements I need to make, and we got 25 minutes left. What are we going to talk about? So tired of hearing all this with other channels. If I'm watching a live stream and they start on that, I leave. Believe it or not, and the really weird thing is, when I posted that video the other day, I no sooner got it uploaded and, you know, set loose on the platform, I flipped my videos back on, and the very first thing I seen in the first row was a live stream from Parachat, and they were talking about the same thing. People sitting and calling each other fake and saying they're making up stuff, and I'm like, seriously, is it that big of an issue everywhere? So I started looking into it, and I realized that it is. You know, everybody wants to compete everybody wants to compete on who finds the irreparable proof that the afterlife exists. Instead of working together as one huge team and sharing information and data, they would rather compete with each other and call each other fake and call each other frauds and do this and do that, do something else. It's like, my God, seriously? Really? It's that big of a deal that people cannot sit down and work together and say, hey, I like what you got right here, but, you know, if we take it to this level or do this, then we can provide even more evidence to the positive of the existence of this, this, or this. So, our new bigger screen TV will be here next Friday. Yay! That's what I need. We need a new TV. I'd actually like to have one out in the living room that we could all sit down in the living room and watch TV instead of having one in here, having one in the daughter's room, having one in our bedroom. I'd like to have a TV in the living room one day. There's no point in competition for views. There's 7 billion accounts. Yeah, really. Certain other channels. Yeah, I have heard of that, and that's really sad. The whole idea of this platform is to promote each other, to promote growth, to promote subscribers, to promote friendship, and so many people have just got ratchet over it. I'm fine with the channel. The fake hauntings are usually obviously fake. Very much so. And those are the ones that I tend to steer away from. I'm hearing this activity in every community I've entered. See, and that's one reason that I'm glad that I started the Midwest Parahistoric Society. You know, it's multiple channels, multiple teams working together. You know, and we're always bringing in more. You know, when we done the City of David compound investigation a couple weeks ago, you know, we had Obscured State of Michigan podcast there with us. We had What Goes Bump in the Night podcast there with us. Um, we had our normal guys. Me, Randy with Randy's Real Paranormal, Tommy with Tommy Amongst the Tombstones. We had everybody there. We had Danny from Southern Michigan Paranormals. I mean, those guys are all part of my normal group, but to bring in other investigative teams, this investigation we're doing tomorrow night, there'll be a couple more brand new ones pop in that you guys have never seen before. A couple of well-known investigative groups. So, a little insider information there. So, keep your eyes open for that one. I think there's a reason that suddenly YouTube is competitive. If you figure it out, let me know. Yeah, really. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I'm thinking of putting together a magazine dedicated to the paranormal, supernatural, unsolved mysteries, mysterious vanishings, conspiracies, etc. Derek, you do. I want a membership. You send it to me in the mail. I don't care. I want it. Just watch it for entertainment. I don't take that seriously. Hope one day we can be a part of MPS. Well, we'll have to sit down here real soon and talk about that, Jan. So YouTube snatches views, view time, and the myth of monetization being snatched every 3 months. It has turned into a cutthroat game. But like I said, I've not noticed it in other niches. I've noticed it more so in the paranormal field. How everybody wants to compete to be the one team that finds the total 100% undisputed evidence that the paranormal actually exists. And by doing so, they don't mind slamming other teams and the evidence they gather and stuff like that. You could literally be at an investigation and a spirit materialize right in front of your camera and tell you all about the other side and stuff like that. And people will literally call it, oh, that's fake. They don't just materialize like that. Hey, Mike. Good to see you. But do you dig into other channels, communities? Nah, not really. I don't have time to. It's like someone has given orders to fight amongst ourselves. Get a membership, my word. Cool. Good to see you too, Mike. All right, Sarah. You take care of yourself and go out there and plop down in that kiddie pool with the kids. I'm sure it's getting pretty warm there, so it's time for you to put on shorts and a t-shirt, go out there and kick back, grab some sun with them kids. I got some weird activity last night and it still gave me nightmares. Wow. I was getting ready to ask that question myself, Jen. Now, one thing I did notice, Sasquatch, here last year and earlier this year, is it was channels like KG's and Candy's and Kenny, the Kentucky Fam, and channels like that were getting smashed by comments and trolls and stuff like that. And well, I should say trolls with evil intent, because I've said it many times. We have our own trolls, but they know that I respect them, and in turn they respect me. And they've offered on more than one occasion to defend this channel, because I don't treat them any different. So, but last year and earlier this year, it was stuff like Noel's channel, Ian's channel, KG's channel, Wookie's channel, Kenny the Kentucky Fam, stuff like that was getting berated and stuff. So, so my grandma died like 2 years ago, and I was there at her favorite restaurant, which is near me. Kind of random girl and Ma was sitting next to my table and wearing the same outfit which my grandma used to wear. It's a little creepy, and she smiled at me. Wow. That would be creepy. Well, it'd be extra creepy for me because all my grandma ever wore was this satin night dress thing, unless she went to church. Other than that, she had on this bright blue nightgown thing with flowers all over it and stuff. So if somebody was sitting in a restaurant wearing an old floral navy blue night dress like my grandma used to wear, I would consider that excruciatingly creepy. Auditors, First Amendment, game channels, truth or conspiracy channels, even review channels, all under attack from similar channels to themselves. Huh. I told my dad he felt a little creepy too. Do you think that's paranormal or just coincidence? Did they smile at you, Mike, or or I should say, did they speak to you, or did they just smile at you? I have some history videos this week I'm going to do. Cool. I look forward to seeing them. They smiled and was staring the whole time. I felt uncomfortable. That's why I left. Now here's a question for you. Since you were sitting in your grandma's favorite restaurant, and maybe she was on your mind or something like that for one reason or another, possibly because you were in her favorite restaurant. Um, what do you think the possibilities were that they weren't really wearing what your grandma used to wear, but in your mind, you seen the outfit your grandma used to wear? Because it seems like it would be very unusual for a mother and daughter to be wearing the same outfit. Number one, I've never known two women that coordinate a meal out together and want to dress the same. Never heard of it. I think she was not a happy soul because she always wanted us to leave with her after my grandpa died. Very possible. Very possible. Wow, that was a hell of a jump. 68 degrees to 73 degrees in like 8 seconds. It is now officially 2 degrees warmer outside than the air conditioning set at. My mother's sisters all sound like my mom. I can't talk to them without freaking out a lot. Oh, wow. Luckily, with my mom being one of 9 girls and 2 boys, um, yeah, none of her sisters sound like her. The voice afflections are almost the same, but vocal tone is completely different. But yeah, Mike, it's a very good possibility that just something, a smell, a picture, something triggered a memory of your grandmother, and those women might have been wearing the same collar of something that your grandma used to wear, and in your mind you seen your grandmother's outfits. It could have been your grandmother trying to communicate with you, so she made their outfits look like what she used to wear. That's the really cool thing about dealing with the supernatural, is there are so many possible explanations on why things occur. And I think that's one of the reasons why it is such a competitive field, is because we see something and we want to try to make it a logical happening so we can explain it to other people. And sometimes there is no logical reason for why it happens. So I'm in a restaurant eating with my wife when I hear my mother talking and go pale. Wow. That would literally scare the hell out of me, and you guys know there ain't much out there in this world that scares me. That would scare the hell out of me. Turns out my mother's youngest sister is in there talking to her kids. Wow. Why does things always happen in restaurants? In my opinion, and I state that strongly, in my opinion, the reason things like that always happen in restaurants is because you have got more active senses going in a restaurant. Not only do you have memory, but you've got your visual, you've got your smell, you've got your taste, you've got your ears, all working in a restaurant. And when your memory triggers something, if it's a strong enough memory, then all your other senses heighten. You're sitting there and you're smelling the same smell that was there when your grandmother was there because of the food they cooked. You're tasting whatever it was you normally ate there when your grandmother was there. You know, you're hearing all the same sounds you would hear when she was there. So, I mean, all your senses go nutso when you're sitting there and you're in a familiar place like that. Turns out my grandma, myself, Mike, I believe it's because there's so many different people. I heard her, but it wasn't my mom. I ended up blubbering in the car without the ability to explain why. I've had to do that a few times myself. Don't feel bad about it, for sure. Hope she won't hurt us or do anything weird. Don't know why she would. I mean, you know, why would she? Well, guys and girls, it is about that time. We got about 30 seconds left or so. I should let everybody know that any and all donations are going towards getting the things we need for the conventions. We need to get one of those little pop-up awning deals. We need to get our banners made. I still need to get the videos transferred over to DVD so we can show them. So any and all donations coming into the group now is going to go for those things. It's going to go for some updated equipment, cat balls, stuff like that, paranormal puck, music box, things like that. Maybe even one day when that rich benefactor shows up and donates, you know, several $1,000s, I might even invest in a FLIR camera. Who knows? It could happen someday. But it is that time now. It is 10 o'clock. It is time for me to be like a fat baby and head out. Time for me to be like a tree and leave. Time for me to be like a bunch of birds and get the flock out of here. So we will be on tonight, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. and maybe we'll do something fun. Who knows? But until then, you guys take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. God bless you. God love you. We do. We'll catch y'all tonight. Have a good day, y'all.